You're watching ChillyBoy Productions. I'm Larry ChillyBoy Chillson, and this is my review for Just Friends. Now, before we get into this special Pride review, make sure to go ahead and click that subscribe button down below so that you can chill with me on each and every one of my latest videos. So we are back with our annual series of Pride Month of movie reviews. All throughout the month of June, I will be reviewing various LGBTQIA plus films to celebrate Pride Month. And here in the year 2025, it felt particularly important to make sure I was here to talk about queer film and to spread the message on the shirt I'm rocking. And in light of the disheartening news of the cancellation for The Wheel of Time, I wanted to dive in to one of the stars' first roles, which just so happened to be a queer film. And I think a new comfort film has just been unlocked. Just Friends is a 2018 Dutch film from director Anne-Marie van de Mond, starring Josha Stradowski, Majd Mardo, Tanya Jess, and Jenny Ariane. Just Friends follows Joris, a young man who is struggling to come to terms with the death of his father when he meets free-spirited Yad, who has just returned home from Amsterdam. The spark ignites between the two, but their relationships with their mothers puts their budding feelings at risk. So I vaguely knew about this film because I knew that our boy Yosha, Randolph Thor, had a queer film in his past in which he shed the clothes. But I didn't know anything really beyond a general knowledge that this film existed. Didn't know what it was. I didn't even know what it was called. But honestly, I needed more Rand in my life. I needed more Yosha in my life. So I sought this film out, and I am so happy I did because I fell in love with Just Friends. You see, Rand, I know a boy kisser when I see one. So let's go ahead and jump into the positives first. Well, my biggest positive is our lead pair. Oh my gosh, the chemistry in this film is off the charts. Yosha is fantastic in this film. It really showed that right here in the early stages of his career, he already had the juice. He's fantastic in this film, and it requires a lot of a young actor. There's a lot really bubble. There are so many emotions bubbling under the surface for his character throughout the film. There is this longing, this want for his father without ever outwardly expressing that, this want for this boy, this want for affection from his own mother. There's so many things he has to portray without so much dialogue in that sense. And I thought he demonstrated all of that so well in a very fleshed out character. And then we have Majd Mardo, who also has a lot going on in his life through this film. And he's fantastic, effortlessly charming, super attractive. And the two of them have this wonderful chemistry together. Every time they're on screen with each other, it's magic. Oh, you fall in love with this pair. You end up rooting for this pair immediately upon them locking eyes in Joris's grandmother's house. Speaking of his grandmother, I adored the character. I thought she was fantastic. What a wonderful woman. I loved every time she was on screen, and I loved her relationship with both of these boys. And it's also nice to have a film, particularly set in the 2010s, about younger people, young adults, where everybody's out. And sexuality plays no part in the conflict of the film. All of the parents, all of the families are fully aware of who these boys are. The boys themselves are fully comfortable and aware in their own skin. There's no infighting about sexuality. Nobody's uncomfortable. Nobody says the wrong thing. We get one instance of outward town folk acting a fool. But what a refreshing feeling watching a romance like this between a same-sex couple that has nothing to do with sexuality. I did also really enjoy Joris's mother and her explicit journey that is taken throughout the film. She goes on almost as big of a journey as the two boys themselves. I thought the cinematography was really well handled. The story wasn't overly unique by any means, but it's executed very well. And honestly, when it comes to a romance or a romantic comedy such as this, for me, it really hinges on the chemistry of your leads. And thankfully, that more than carries this film. Plus, as I said, you have two very attractive male leads in this film, kissing and being sexy. Yosha taking off clothes. So, if like me, Wheel of Time was your introduction to Yosha, and you quite enjoyed the scenes of Rand without a shirt, make sure you hit up Just Friends. Quick, thank me later. Now the question is, who's gonna take me on an American diner date? Yeah, I know I live in America, so it makes it easier. Just take me to a diner. Somebody? Anybody? Please? So then, what doesn't work so well when it comes to Just Friends? Well, I believe this was a made-for-television film overall, and thus the runtime is only an hour 20 minutes. It's quite short. And while I don't inherently dislike a short film, I actually quite like my films right around that 90-minute mark, if I'm being honest. However, I think we could have at least added on that 10 minutes for this because there are some storylines that aren't fleshed out nearly enough. One of which is the big conflict that happens, the rom-com fallout that they all have is very, very abrupt, and we kind of race through that section of the film because it all kind of just feels like it happens at the drop of a hat. And I think that also stems from the fact we don't get nearly enough time with Yod's family and his mother specifically. So his and his mother's relationship is touched on, it's shown to an extent. However, it plays such a huge role in Yod's behavior and his decisions in this film. I think we needed more time for the weight of that relationship to really play into the conflict of the film. Because as it is, you're kind of like, whoa, that came out of nowhere. What are we doing? But really, that's my only problem when it comes to Just Friends. I thoroughly enjoyed this film. As I said, I think it's going to be a comfort film for me. I can't wait to revisit this again. It's charming, it's cute, it's romantic. It gave me everything I was hoping for walking into this film. And somebody who is very close with my grandmother, I want this. I want to walk down the pier hand in hand with my grandmother and my super attractive boyfriend. So if you're looking for a wonderful queer romance with wonderfully attractive people in the lead, if you're a heartbroken Wheel of Time fan right now that needs more Rand in your life, and you were kind of hoping Rand would just lean in and kiss Matt at some point, definitely, definitely give Just Friends a watch for Pride this month. And maybe ironically, one of the places this is available to watch now is Prime Video. But if you've already canceled your Prime membership based on that cancellation, don't worry. You can also watch for free on Tubi, the Roku channel, and Plex, or you can rent it on various other platforms, including right here on YouTube for a $3.99 fee. So that was my review for Just Friends. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click that like button down below and subscribe to the channel so that you are always up to date on all of my latest videos, including each and every one of my Pride Month series of reviews. Also, make sure to join in on the discussion. Have you checked out Just Friends? Let me know all of your thoughts and comments either in that comment section down below, or you can hit me up over on Twitter or Blue Sky. I love you all so much for your continued support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.